guys, brand ambassador Anna with Annie here with another little project. As we all know, starting a day or two ago, we are recommended to wear a mask when we go to the grocery store. And I actually started my project about a week or so ago. And it started because my father, who's a dialysis patient, called me up and he said that he needed to wear a mask. He said, could you stop by Walmart and buy me one? And of course, my father didn't realize there's certain things that you can't find anywhere. So I decided to make it on my own. So far, I have made probably about 25 for all my family members. I have a very large family. And so I figure I'll do a video to show you how to do it. So for starters, you gotta get your my little pattern here. I cut it up. It's 9 inches by 7. And so I cheated a little bit. I already cut my fabric. So the first thing I'm gonna do, you got the 2 pieces of fabric. They're both facing right side to each other. And we're gonna start by sewing. We're gonna do the longest side first. Leave about 1/4 of an inch. And I mean, it goes pretty fast. So that is the first side. On the second side, what I decided to do is, and I don't want to bore you too much with a long video. So once you do all 4 sides, on one of the longest side, I actually sew to about half or so, maybe to leave a space so that I can turn it inside out, like so. Now you can also definitely do this, sew it by hand. It would take a little bit longer probably, but you can do it by hand still though, if you don't have a sewing machine. I know not everybody does, and believe it or not, this is actually not mine. This is my niece's cat. Thanks, cat. And so you turn it inside out. And so now we have this little opening, and I'm just gonna sew straight up to close it. And let me show you the one I have already. So here you go. And so the next thing I'm going to do is just sew a straight line just to make sure I close the little gap that I have there. And there you go. So now that I have that closed, now I can start doing my pleat, and I do 3, about 1/4 of an inch or so. There's one. Maybe that one's a little too big. There's one. And you gotta do another one. Typically, it's a great idea to have safety pins. You can pin in. I'm really good a lot of times. See, I got the 3rd one right there. And then what you do is you sew it on each side. So, as usual, I cheated a little bit. And I got mine right here. So I sewed on both sides. And now it is ready to do the ends. And to do the ends, I could do 1 or 2 things. What I did, for example, on this one here, I get a piece of fabric, 2 inches. I sew it across, fold it to the other side, and while I'm doing this, I put in my elastic right here. Now, at this point, I'm having a hard time finding elastic, so what I decided to do is something a little bit different, and I'm going to use the bias tape. On this instance, I'm using the double fold bias tape, so it's really a little bit easier. I mean, it's kind of wide, double folded. So I already measure it and make sure that I have enough space to go around my mask, or on the top, either the top or the bottom, and have enough I can tie it in the back. And so once I have it right here, then what I'll do is, a lot of the things I do, I kind of just eyeball. I put this in half, right? So I got the half right here. I fold this in half just to mark where my half is on here. Then I'll bring this in like so. Just make sure I can grab it really good. And then I'll start sewing. And so I will sew, and typically I would actually do, I can either do it before I do the pleat or after. Sometimes it really doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. So sometimes I'll do the pleat and then I'll do the bias tape, and sometimes it's the opposite. I'll do the bias tape on both sides and then pleat it. So it's totally up to you. And so for the finished product, you got this one right here. So I want to make sure it's long enough that when you put it around your mouth, you have enough space. And this one is actually a double sided, if you would, so you can wear either side. And just tie it on the top and at the bottom. And so that's it. It is really, really easy. Like I said, if you have a sewing machine, you can sew it by hand. Or also I'm planning to do another video of one that you can make. You could use a bandana, a t-shirt, or anything you can find around the house if you are not into sewing. So if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe.